everyone, this is Jill with Om Shanti Healing and Yoga. Today we're going to work on Virabhadrasana 1, 2, and 3, otherwise known as your warriors 1, 2, and 3, that you will do in anywhere from beginner level 1 classes all the way up to advanced and intermediate. So warrior 1 is what we'll start with. And typically warrior 1, you come into it from a downward dog on your mat, but today we're going to come into it from a standing position. So let's turn to face the front of the mat, and we'll step up with the right foot first. So creating some space between the feet, 2 to 3 feet. The idea is you want to have your back heel anchored down on the ground, touching your mat, and you want to have the outer pinky and the edge of your foot rooted down. Spread out your toes a little, press the big toe to the mat, and find the inner edge of your heel and also anchor down right there. This right knee will bend. You can place your hands to your hips. For right now, you're going to find a bend in your knee about 90 degrees, and that knee's going to line up right over the ankle. So once you come in from straight leg to bent knee, you'll find a nice deep stretch moving down this calf, and you want to keep that heel pressing to the floor. When we look down at our knee, we see the big toe. Now if you find yourself buckling in, what you'll see when you look down is your pink toe. See my knee coming in a little bit. It's turning inward, not stacked over the ankle. You want to bring it from your hip and move that knee back out so you can look down and see your big toe. And that gives you a good indication that your knee is right over the ankle and your leg's right where it's supposed to be. Regarding the hips, we want to square off to the front of the mat. Think about the front of the hips like headlights, shooting straight out to the front of the mat, and this increases that intensity in the leg down here on this left side. So we try to keep the hips nice and square. We keep the belly long. We lift the ribs, always trying to create more space in the back. And then if you want, you can lift the arms up with an inhale to the sky. So as we lift the arms in yoga, we want to kind of draw in a little through the upper back. So rolling those shoulders back a little bit, pulling in through the rhomboids or the space between your shoulder blades, holding right here with a nice tall back. Taking a couple deep breaths. Now notice your feet, always paying attention to the feet. We press in and away from the center point between the feet. So anchoring and pushing away from that center point helps stabilize your grounding. It activates the legs and keeps you nice and solid in your posture. Let's hold here for 3 more. Very nice. Exhale on your way down. Step that left foot up to meet the right. So let's just work right into the other side, stepping this right leg back. Again, we want to find 2 to 3 feet for warrior 1. In between those feet, toes pointing forward or a little bit of an angle outward, about 45 degrees. That's comfortable for your knee. So let's find that anchoring in the back on this right foot. The pinky toe presses down. We have the outer edge of the foot grounded. We feel the heel against the floor. And then we start to bend, finding that 90 degrees, looking down to see our big toe. Looking down to not see our pinky toe. Find that weight in the front foot as well. Begin to square your hips. Lift the ribs a little bit. Nice and tall. Press in and away from the space between your feet. Getting nice and solid through the lower half of your body. And then from there we'll circle up. Inhale, reach. Hold right here. Good. So we feel the ribs lifting away from the hips. We feel lots of length in the spine. We feel long, tight bellies. Draw into those shoulders a little bit. Hold right here for 3. Beautiful. Exhale on your way down. Step it up to the front. So warrior 2 is typically, you come into the warrior 2 with a lunge 2, but for this demonstration we'll start just straight-legged standing up. Okay? So we want to turn the right toes to the front of the mat, and the outer edge of the foot on that left side lines up with the short edge of your mat. Spread out your toes on both feet. Ground through the pinky toe on this left side, along the outer edge of your foot and your heel. Press the big toe down in that space at the inside of your heel as well. Now with the right foot, we bend. We find that 90-degree angle again where we can look down and we can see the big toe. Now the four corners of your feet are the big toe and your pinky toe. Those are the two front corners. And the back two corners of your feet are the inside and outside part of your heel. When I say in my videos, find the four corners of your feet, that's what I'm talking about. That will draw the energy and the weight to the outer edge of the foot, keep you nice and lifted and relaxed at the arch of your foot. So dropping down again, finding that 90 degrees. Turn your hips to the long edge of the mat. Work from your hip here and keep that knee back. And then we're going to bring the arms out to a T. Okay, so a little scoop of your tailbone to tighten up the lower core. Lift your ribs and hold. Straight up through the arms. Now to even activate the shoulders more while we're here, we can bring the palms together real quick. Press them together. Feel the shoulders and upper arms activate. Keep that activation nice and fiery, and then we reach back out. Like we're pressing into walls beside us. And then you can bring your hands to flat if that's more comfortable for the wrists. Holding right here. 3 more. Now remember that space between the feet, we press in and away. Very nice. Let's push this right leg back to straight, and we'll just switch sides. Take your left toes to the long edge of your mat, or to the short edge of your mat rather. Grounding through the outer edge of that right foot. Find the four corners of both feet. Start to bend and find your 90 degrees. Looking down for the big toe. Pressing in and away from the space between your feet, really activating the legs. And then we come up to T. Check in with your tailbone. If your booty's popping way out and you have a deep curve in your back, try to tuck and scoop it in a little bit. Lift your ribs and hold. Find that activation on this side for the shoulders. If you would like, press and then reach out from there. Holding here. Let's stay for 3 more right here in our warrior 2. Very good. Left leg presses to straight. Let's turn the toes to the front and step it up to the center of the mat. So warrior 3 is a balance posture. We're on one leg for this one. So a block may be nice if you're learning, just to help you out. So I'll just place it right here, and we could talk about that in a minute. So with warrior 1, warrior 3 rather, let's come into warrior 3 from a downward dog. Okay, so we're going to find our downward dog. Just kind of helps us find our balance a little bit better if we bring the leg forward, I think. So let's take the right leg up first. Bring it up, lift up onto the ball of the left foot, activate your lower core, exhale through, find your lunge. So let's set up this right foot. Spread out your toes, find your balance on the four corners of your feet, and we're going to press off from there. So the hands are going to come forward so they're still underneath the hips, or underneath the shoulders. This hip on this left side is going to turn down a little bit, and it's really hard when you're just learning. You want to bring it back for better balance, but we're going to try to turn it in so that kneecap's looking right down at the ground, and then really reach out and activate that leg. Just coming to square as best as you can. Doesn't have to be aesthetically perfect, as long as you just have your balance. So the block, if you're new, is good for your hands, just to lift you up a little bit off the ground. Some more, okay? You can certainly use that. So with warrior 3, I like to start off my newbies with hands on the ground. Just kind of feel the sensations in this right leg. How do you feel through your hips? Make your adjustments as we square off and kind of move around a little bit and kind of feel where you are in your space. Okay, a lot of warrior 3s, you'll see the shoulders up to hip height and the arms are out to T. I've got a wall here to my left, so I'm going to bring my hands up to my hips. So if you want to, you can try up to your hips and then take your arms out. If you want to, one hand at a time, keep the inside hand on the ground so you kind of get yourself balanced, kind of feel out where you are in the posture. You can lift those shoulders up just slightly. Ideally, full posture, shoulders are out, and we're up at hip level here, and we have a nice long back. Keep working on just squaring those hips as you practice. And let's take the hands down. Find your lunge, nice and safe. Plant your foot and step it back. Walk it out. Okay, now let's do that same side, same thing on the left side. Take the left leg up. Let's lift up onto the ball, that right foot. Take your inhale, tight bellies, exhale through. Lunge on this side. So taking your time, finding your balance through this left foot. Find the four corners of your feet. Get yourself nicely grounded. When you're ready, push off. Lift up. So we push into the ground and we try to lift the hip up away from the leg. Walk your hands forward a little. And find that squaring through the right hip. Just work on turning that hip down. It's hard to tell in your body when you're new if your hips are lined up or not. That's what your instructors are for, to help you with that. So we just do our best to lift that leg. Bring in that block again if you feel like you need it. Okay? So taking it a step farther, we're going to take the outside hand, so this left one, to the hip and just see how we feel there. Good. Just taking in those deep breaths in and out, trying to stay focused and centered. Take up that right hand. Lift the shoulders to hip height if you can, or as close as you comfortably can. Just slowly work your way into it. Nice and long through the back. Hold for 3. And exhale your way down. Find your lunge. Step it back. Find a down dog here and just kind of walk the legs a little bit. Balance out yourself through the lower body. So that was Virabhadrasana 1, 2, and 3, or Warrior 1, 2, and 3. All beginner level 1 postures you'll learn. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jill. Om Shanti. Namaste.